The Chicago Sun-Times is reporting that Elin Nordegren is asking for $750 million in her divorce settlement with Tiger Woods.
$750 million. Now, here's what's not happening, okay, in my mind. And it might happen in real life. But her getting $750 million being just in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if Tiger had sex with 287 different women, and he might have. I don't care if he had sex with farm animals, okay? I don't care if he had sex with your mom and your sister, okay? You didn't do anything to get $750 million. Hell no.
She bore him children and allowed him to maintain that false family man lifestyle that he peddled to us in order to sell his golf bags and his shoes, and I can't even pull it off.
Which, by the way, she's now shredding. Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Shredding his shoes?
That would be funny. Here's some shoes. Okay. No, she's shredding the idea that he's an idyllic family man, okay, by divorcing him.
By the way, no one's shredding that. That's done.
Yeah,
that was already, that ship sailed. I'm not blaming her for it. It's Tiger's fault, right? But it doesn't exist anymore, so where's the value, right? Look, I have a Jenk rule on this, and this is a perfect case for it. $10 million, and off you go, okay?
That's the cap?
That's the cap. Because if you tell me you can't live for under $10 million, I'll tell you to kiss my ass.
$10 million on top, I think you'd agree with this, $10 million on top of every single asset that you brought in.
Oh, of course.
Right.
You know what? Take 100% of the assets you brought in.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you could make a case that you brought in 11 million assets and whatever, then you get $21 million max. That's it.
Yeah, have fun. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your life. You're a million times better off than the rest of us. Okay. Look, here's what I can't get beyond, and I don't know how, and I'm challenging anyone to make the case. Okay. What did she do to earn $750 million? Oh, I see. Never mind. No, it's indefensible. This idea that you split things 50-50, no matter what. I mean, how long have they been married? Not that long.
5 years. Something.
And you got a kid. Should Tiger take care of the kid lavishly? Absolutely. But why are we rewarding somebody for staying with Tiger for a couple of years? I mean, some of his mistresses might have been with him longer than that. Okay? It's devoid of all logic and sense.
Well, you know, the idea of it, you know, some of the idea of a fair and equitable settlement of marital assets in a divorce, to me, is not a cockamamie law. Mm-hmm. And you're not even necessarily arguing that that's a cockamamie law, because you're saying that there's a point when it becomes ridiculous, obviously. Yes. That you're arguing not against the concept, but against the numbers. And I mean, she obviously doesn't warrant, deserve, whatever, $750 million. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, they're in negotiations right now, and she's not going to apply the Jenk rule during negotiations.
Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if either side cited that? Well, they're like, there is a well-established Jenk rule, you know, $10 million.
She was like, look, I was a model. I didn't have nothing coming in. There's some family assets that we use together, and I'd like $12 million. Tiger would be like,
no, you know
done.
Tiger would be opening the petty cash drawer.
Yeah, where do I shine?
You know what's funny about the whole $10 million cap? $10 million is what he allegedly paid Rachel Yucatel to shut up. So
yeah,
it would be,
you know what? I'm going to have to up that cap. Because if I'm Elin, I'm keeping it real here, and you paid that skank $10 million to be quiet about while you were having sex with her instead of me, right? Well, I got to get, minimum of twice that, right?
So I think...
am I not merciful? Am I not merciful? Look, it's a cap, but I'm not a zero-tolerance guy. I'm willing to listen to evidence.
$10 million on top of everything you brought in, and in addition to all hush money paid to other women.
Yeah, and everything you've ever spent on any mistress.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Are we not the fairest people in the land?
Right.
Okay.
That's going to, by the way, it's going to approach probably $35-40 million for Elin by the time this is all done.
Right, and that's fair enough.
Yeah.
again, I'm thinking they take this YouTube clip, right? and they try to present it as evidence. Tiger Woods' attorney's like, on the other hand, Your Honor, I'd like to go to Exhibit A.
No, exactly.
The Jack rule on TYT.
Yeah, they'd be like, do we have wireless in here? I still know wireless. Yeah.